Okay? So please be mindful of whatever you say and whatever you share because it will be recorded. I'll share muna my slides. Okay? Okay. Sige. Ayan, can you see it na? My slide.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So again, for integrative programming, we will be using Python. Okay. So let's discuss muna the trivia about Python. So the logo Python, di ba? We all know that when you say Python, it's a snake, di ba? It's a kind of snake. Now, if you notice, you have here the two logo, the blue and then the yellow. It's actually, if you try to look at it, it's really like a snake, di ba? And then it's actually not according sa research ko, the Python na word for the programming language invented by the developer was not because they love snakes, but because they love a particular show na there's a Python on it, and then I think it's Python Moti. So it's a TV series in the 80s, 90s, na they really like, and then they have it coined as the name of the programming language. Okay, that's the trivia. Now, to formally begin with this one, I'd like to inform everyone for this lecture, we'll be doing a brief overview of what Python is, why do we choose Python for programming, and then what can you do with Python, okay? So this lecture in particular is geared towards people new to programming, okay? By the way, this course material is provided by Udemy Data Parshan. So I really like their material because it's quite comprehensive and they really lived up to the level bitaw na you will be learning on a level na pang beginner. You can be like they really adjusted the course on it. So I was taking it, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and then it was really good. Okay, then I was able to appreciate Python with the materials they provided to us. Okay, so I'll be sharing it with you guys. So hindi yan sa akin ng mga materials. The activities, I devise them, I do some changes on them, but the entirety of it, hindi siya talaga totally mine. Okay, so I'm just sharing it with you guys. Now, a brief history about it. Uh, it was actually created, can you believe it? Python was created in 1990 by Guido van Rossum. So actually, meron siyang team. But then siya yung lead. Kumbaga, the credit goes to him because he was the lead developer for the project. Okay. Now, there were actually several versions released throughout bitaw from 1990 up until to 2008. But the very significant release that they had was the 2008 version, which is Python 3. Because it was then na people get to like ano bitong it's just like testing a product and then people get to like it because it's something new. Okay? So by 2000 the release in 2008 was the most significant in their company history because that's the time they became mainstream. When you say mainstream gali, it would mean when you say the word Python programming, people get an idea or interested about it. Okay, 2008 was really the kumbaga the highlight in their company history. Okay, yeah. Okay. Now, another also is that another reason why Python programming became a mainstream, okay, not only to the developers, okay, di ba naman tayo community of developers, di ba? Those who are programmers, software engineers, it became also popular to those who are not into, kana bitang, those who are not who did not graduate in IT, but who are enthusiasts in programming and computer science because the language created was specifically designed as designed as an easy to use language. It would mean na the syntaxes, the semantics of this programming language is closest to the natural language. Even up to date, even if you will go or if you will ask those who are industry experts, they will really recommend Python because those who are, kumbaga, it caters both the developers community and then those who are enthusiasts. Like, hindi kami graduate ng IT but we want to learn programming. We want to learn data science. So Python is really recommended to them. It also is focused on it has a high focus on readability of code. Ibig sabihin, there is an ease of use whenever you will try to read it, even if you are not very, or if you're not expert with it. Okay, like hindi siya talaga, what do you call this one, hindi siya complicated basahin. Okay, that's it. So kindly remember the face of this guy because you will somewhat like came across sa mga documentation na ibibigay ni Python sa atin. Okay, now why do we choose Python? So clearly Python is designed for a clear logical code that is easy to read and learn. Okay, to tell you honestly, because I think you can also differentiate it whenever we will by the time na we will be done with our uh, Python base, na mas madaling intindihin yung pagkakakonstruct ng mga Python codes compared to Java, C programming, C++, Visual Basic, okay? So mas madali siyang intindihin, okay? And then another also factor now, we need to choose Python because there are already a lot of existing libraries and frameworks which are written in Python, allowing users to apply Python to a wide variety of tasks. It would mean that the industry standards as well, or those who are using Bita, or those who are in the industry who are using libraries and frameworks, they are already adjusting their standards into a Python na Python language because everyone is using it naman, di ba? Just like what I mentioned bitaw in our what they call this one, just like what I mentioned in our orientation, during the internship bitaw of the companies, they will ask us if we happen to teach our students Python. That's why we were able to like what they call this one, like we were encouraged by the industry na, sir, introduce nyo si Python kasi si Python is already being used by most of the industry. Okay, especially sa back end. Okay? So we need to really choose Python. I'm not saying that you will forget the other programming languages na tutunan nyo. What I'm trying to say here is that be open to Python because this is what is mainstream. Remember, you are in the technology side baya of the world. Ibig sabihin, pag hindi ka maka-catch up kung ano yung bago, ano yung ginagamit ng industry, that would mean na you'll be left out and you'll become irrelevant, or probably on the career side is medyo hindi ka talaga ma-hire. Okay? Now, another reason for choosing Python, especially if you are a developer, because it prioritizes the optimization of developer time compared to computer's processing time. Bakit? Because Python prioritizes prototyping. So lahat ng mga the things that you do bitaw on a normal programming language na kinakailangan pa ng mga uh, hardware specifications, matataas na specifications. So, yan is already disregarded in Python. Kay even galing in a usual or in a simple desktop, you can even a browser sorry, even in a simple browser, you can even create a project in Python. Okay? And then the last one that we need to consider, I think it's everyone will consider this one or agree with this one, is that Python has a great documentation online. Okay, you can browse it at docs.python.org/3. But aside from the documentation provided, you have already a lot of community forums which will help you. What they call this one, which will help you in learning Python, 'di ba? One community that I have joined kay nakalimot ko sa to, it's Pythonista. It's actually a Philippine-based bitaw na mga Python enthusiasts. So you can join them. You can search them in Facebook. Okay, I joined them as well. They even answer questions. Like I also, ang nakapait lang dito, or the sad thing about it lang is that there are students who join the group just to ask the answer for a certain activity. But yung mga admin ng page na yun, alam na nila na pag ganyan mga question, they will not really answer because you are not helping them. Okay? So, if you go online and then you find if you happen to find bitaw a good community, share it to us para we can also try or join them. Okay? Do not hoard knowledge because that is not yours to begin with, di ba? So share natin. Next, what can you do with Python? So this course first focuses on base Python, Ito yung sinasabi ko na, yes, Harold, what's your question?
Excuse me sir kanang ay classmate sir ba nga nag-ask to join dito sa cancer sino
Yes.
Gmeet sir. Pwede ba daw sila maka-join sir?
No na. For I'm already particular with punctuality. Okay. So pasensya for those who are late, I will no longer admit you to my class because you already have one. I think you have already one sem to adjust naman, diba? So let it be clear to anyone na if I start checking the attendance and then if you're late, then don't join my class na because you're disturbing my class already. Okay. Is that understood? Okay na ba? Sige, let's continue. Okay, what can you do with Python? This course focuses on base Python, which consists of the core components of the language and writing scripts and small programs. So for the period again, like what I mentioned in the orientation, for the period of prelim to midterm, we'll be doing the base Python. Ibig sabihin, from the start tayo, from the scratch. Pero hindi na siya, okay, yung treatment ko sa inyo will no longer be a beginner level since you have the idea on how or what's with programming, okay? Kasi if I will treat you as beginner level, then I will go back again to ano ba si programming, paano ba siya ginagawa, ganyan-ganyan. But with Python base or base Python, yung mangyayari is that we'll be doing a crash course on, for example, how do we declare variables in Python? How do we do conditional statements? How do we do function? How do we create arrays, di ba? So the basics will be reviewed on your end. Yung goal niya is that your knowledge in your previous programming languages will be adapted or implemented in the context of Python. Nakuha ba? Okay. And then later on, we will begin to learn about the outside libraries and frameworks that greatly expand Python's capabilities. So at the end na niyan, or pagkatapos ng midterm, we'll do na dayon katugaling the part of the integrative programming side na dahil sa Python. Okay? So, ano muna tayo? Relax muna tayo ngayon for the meantime. Now, another thing that you can do with Python, ito na yung sa integrative programming part. You can automate simple tasks. For example, searching for files and editing. Instead of you doing it manually, you can just run the script and then Python will do it for you. Also, in data collection or data cleaning, like for example, scraping information from a website, you can do that one with Python by just simply running a script. You also have Microsoft and even other offices or Office package suite is already adapting to Python wherein you can even read and edit Excel files. Okay, you can also work with PDFs. I've tried this one with Adobe Acrobat, although nalang siya mga certain limitations because I don't have a premium account man in Adobe Acrobat, but then they provide as well automations in Python. You can also, this one is a great also, kumbaga your knowledge in Python scripting will help you automate your emails and text messages. Pwedeng gawin yan with Python. And then the last one is yung mga ginagawa ng mga, what do you call this one? Those who are into forms. So you will automate the manner bito or the process of filling out the forms. Okay, so Python can do that one as well. Diba? And of course, ito, data science and machine learning. Since Python is easy to, kumbaga, those who are data scientists, diba? Let's admit it, they are not programmers, but yeah, they are data scientists. And then it would be a disadvantage on their end to learn programming just to do data mining or data science. So with Python, even if you don't have enough language or enough knowledge on how to do programming, for as long as you know how to execute data cleaning, data processing, data formatting, and then the process of machine learning and data science, it would be easy for you to analyze large data files. Based on my experience, meron ng mga libraries. For example, we'll do linear or multiple regression. Python can provide you with a library on that one, and then you'll just run the script. Diba? You can also have visualizations on your data, like the graphs, the scatter plot, visuals, and then all of the other visualizations. You need to make it a better, kumbaga, in order to present your data in a better way. You also have perform machine learning tasks. For example, determining the patterns on a certain data set. Pwedeng gawin yan sa Python. And then, of course, yung predictive analysis algorithm, pwede rin niyang i-implement sa Python, which is mas madali siyang i-implement as per experience. And the last one, ito yung gusto ko talaga. So this is one of our goals in integrative programming. Now we can create websites using Python. So with Python, we'll be able to use web frameworks such as Django, and then others call it the Django, but then I search it, it's Django already only. Django and then Flask to handle the back end of website and user data. And of course, create interactive dashboards for users using Dash libraries sa Python. Okay? So I think I forgot dito. I think yung sa dito bitaw, we will be doing NumPy, but then add-on ko na lang yan. Okay? Maybe if ako yung tunin nyo, then we can do NumPy sa Python. Okay? So those are the things we can do with Python. Ayan. We can do simple automation. We can do data science and machine learning. We can even do, or we can facilitate website development. And of course, eto na. This is the time I will be doing a demonstration. Okay? Now, for Python, actually, I will on my end kasi I already said this one man sa inyo man sad nga for the period of prelim to midterm will still be a base Python, so I will not require you to install Python Anaconda. But if you have time, I will send you a tutorial on how to install it in Windows, and then you can install it at home. Okay, if you have already a, what do you call this one, a working PC, and then a computer or an internet connection, I will send you a tutorial on how to install a Python Anaconda. But for the meantime, I will recommend to use Jupyter, Google Colab, or Ripple it. Okay? Open ko muna para I can provide you with ano yung interface closest to Python Anaconda. Okay. Actually maraming ibang platform for Python, but then Python Anaconda is yan yung the mainstream, or yan yung go-to ng mga Python developers. Okay? Kasi naka all-in-one kasi siya. Now let's try to have jupyter.org. Sige. Yan. You go to Google. Can you see my screen, guys? I'm sharing a Google screen. Makita ba?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes, sir.
You type dayon jupyter.org. And then you go to this particular website. Okay? Then you'll be provided ayon with the whereabouts of Jupyter. Okay, ayan. Marami siyang mga partner industries as well. Okay, or those who are using. Look at this one, gali oh. Ito yung sinasabi ko, si Anaconda, ito yung ginagamit namin sa local device. Look at their partners. Bloomberg, Google, IBM, Los Angeles Times, Oracle, di ba? Ang dami na nilang mga partner companies. Now, to try Jupyter as a platform for our Python programming base course, you click try, and then you go down, and then you'll be provided with etong 5. So, you have Jupyter Lab, you have Jupyter Notebook, you have Jupyter Lite, you have Jupyter Widgets, and then voila. But for the meantime, let's go here muna sa Jupyter Notebook. Now, with Jupyter Notebook, it's just the same with Anaconda bitaw na they have the same interface. So, dili kay siya ingon nga lisod. Or, you will not, I'll be honest I want you to prefer Jupyter.org na online compiler because it's closest to what we will be doing dayon sa after midterm. Okay? So for you to adjust yourself as early as now, make sure to be familiar with the interfaces of Jupyter Lab kasi and then Jupyter Notebooks kasi yan yung gagamitin natin after midterm. Okay? Now, to create a new, like for example, you'll be required to create to do an activity. You go to File, you click New, and then you just click on Notebook. Okay? After that, ito yung lalabas. Kita nyo ba ito? Can you see this one, guys? Like, nice
Yes, sir.
curve. Okay. So just click lang, since we'll be doing Python, just click select. And then you can even rename it right away. Like for example, demo 2A, ayan, and then just rename it para you'll have an idea. So again, with Python lang yun na Jupyter Lab, sige nagali, dili siya ma-save not unless you will log in, or I don't think so nga na murag, yeah, dili siya ma-save ang sa Jupyter Lab dani sa .org. Murag wala na siya, murag wala siya login gyud ay. Like I cannot even retrieve my other demo the last time. So save. Now, this one, ito bitang this area here, this one is what you call a cell, okay? When you run programs in Python, especially if you're using a particular platform, they will have it in cell, okay? Para bito ang pag-debug sa iya per cell pod sa pagyapon. Now, for example, look at this one na. If I will type 2 plus 2, then I will press shift enter. Look what will happen, di ba? Automatically, kahit wala akong sinasabi, Python will just print na dayon automatically the answer to this one. Okay? I did not even, what they call this one, I did not even provide a semicolon. I did not even put any braces or curly braces on it just to perform a simple operation. Okay? And then, do not worry because si Python is also the same with what we learn man sad. Like for example, print, di ba? Tapos, lagyan natin ng hello world. Okay? You will try to run this one, it's still the same. Yun nga lang, yung mga ibang, ibang symbols, like for example, curly braces, semicolon, they are no longer needed in Python. You will also be introduced to the concept of indentation and then white spaces because that will be needed, di ba? So for example, instead and in other programming languages, yung ginagawa nila is that they put semicolon to what do you call this one, to indicate that this particular item or line is already done or you need to proceed to the next one. With Python, you need to indent only. Like for example, lugar, gusto ko itong sundan, this one. What I will do is that I will just press tab and then mag-indent siya and then automatically Python will indicate na dayon nga, okay, the first line is already done and then I will have na dayon another na po dayon nga process to run. Okay? Aside from Jupyter, you also have si Google Colab. So, pakita natin si Google Colab ha. Balik tayo sa google.com and then just type Google Colab. It's short for collaboration. Yan. Now, with Google Colab, yung concern lang niya is that you need to sign in using Google account. Ibig sabihin, pag wala kang Google account, you cannot, what they call this one, you cannot join you cannot create file or a notebook in Google Colab. Bakit? Because it will be using your Google Drive. Okay? So yung dalawa yung requirements ni Google Colab. The first one is that you need to have a Google account. The second one is that you need to have enough space for your Google Drives. For example, by default, Google Colab or Google Drive provides you with a 15 gigabyte, storage. So kinakailangan hindi yan puno para you can still run the program. Okay? So let's go back to Google Colab. If you notice, ayan you have here the files I've created are already in my Google Drive. Okay? So if I will create another notebook, so medyo loading yun siya gyud kay it will really consume internet connection. Ayan. Look at how it's presented gyapon. Diba? It's by cell. Okay? Now, for example, if you want to rename this one, okay? For example, you have 2A demo Feb 1. Ayan. Okay. Yan yung file name ko. Now, if I will try to create a particular process, make sure na this one, ayan, make sure na bitaw na you are connected with the internet. Bakit? Because of this manner. So for example, 2 plus 2 pa rin tayo. And then, I will no longer press shift enter. Ito lang yung i-click ko. I'll just click this one and then if you notice, it's allocating runtime. Ayan. Look at the bottom part. Meron siyang mga sinasabi. Diba? So that will be dependent on your connection. and then as well as to the availability of your, ang tawag dito, this part here, itong area na to, here, ito lang yung allocated natin, okay? Hindi yan sa hindi yan sa PC nyo. Ito lang yung allocated ni Google for this program or for this notebook. Now, if you would want more, like for example, gusto mo pa ng mga ng higher pa na allocation, you need to buy from Google. So, who are doing those things, man? So, as I've read in some articles, data scientists are, instead of buying their local servers or for the hosting or to run without their data, they will just go to Google Colab and then they'll just buy a certain allocation. Like pag marami talagang data, they can just buy a certain allocation para Google Colab will be the one to analyze na dayon their data. Okay? So that's for Google Colab. Now let's go to Ripple It. Okay? So Ripple It naman is medyo sa not medyo, but I think it's the closest nga doon sa ato ay sa inyo bitang programming language na programming platform na inyo bitang ginagamit sa una. So ripple.it wait lang. Ripple.it. Ayan. So login muna tayo. Nakalagin na pala ako. Now, if you will try to create a new one for Ripple It. So you just go to Python. Paano ko nga yung ginawa? Create a Ripple, ayan. Tapos create a Python, and then you, for example, you'll have 2A demo Feb 01. Ayan. Tapos, you will be provided ayon with parang same lang bitaw sa ginagawa natin. Like for example, sa Sublime, ito rin yung makikita natin. But with Riplet lang is that, because Riplet man yun, this one, in my experience, kaya I use Riplet in my web development na sa Python. So, may dalawang factors to consider in Riplet. The first one is the console. The console is actually the interpreter or the one who will provide you with the output. Okay? The second one naman is the shell. Okay? This one naman is when you run the script in your web or in your local host bitaw or in your local server or in the server that you're currently working right now. So for now, hindi mo natin magagamit si shell because we're not doing mansad hosting or online projects for web. Later pa ito magagamit. Now, for the console, for example, if you will type here 2 plus 2, just press run and then dito lalabas yung answer niya. Anyari? 2 plus 2. Ba't ayaw niya mag 2 plus 2? Wait muna. Okay? Try natin. Nga. You have hello world. Ayan, nala siya. Okay, I need to look into kung bakit hindi gumana yung 2 plus 2 ko. Okay? So ayan. So again, you have 3 options. You have Jupyter, you have Google Colab, you have Ripple It. Okay? Among the 3, for now, I want you to what they call this one? Be familiar with Jupyter Notebook because yan yung common interface. Okay? Para pagdating natin sa Anaconda na you will no longer, what they call this one, you will not become unfamiliar with it. Okay? But please also, kasi I don't want to mansad sa Riplet kasi we will have more of this one mansad after midterm. Okay? Sige. So you have again, wait muna din. You have Jupyter, you have Google Colab, you have Ripple It dayon. Now, like for example, lugar, if you don't like bitaw the 3 options I gave you, you can just go to Google and then search Python interpreter online. I will no longer be as strict as possible. Like for example, sir, among the 3 I don't like the 3 that you've suggested. Can I use other interpreters? Go. For as long as we are on the same bitaw na track on learning the crash course or the base concepts in Python, that's fine with me. So I don't have any problem with that one. Now, let's all remember these things. Ito, free no install options. The first disadvantage bitaw, again, just like what I have mentioned in Jupyter, it's hard to upload your own code or data or notebooks. Okay, totoo din naman. The second one, you may not save your code in the free version. Okay? Bakit? Because since it's free, you're only allocated or marami kayong gumagamit ng mga marami kayong gumagamit sa allocation that is allocated for everybody na gumagamit ng free. Okay? And then, I'll be honest, because it's not actually part of this course talaga. Like, the troubleshooting part, for example, yung ginagamit ko is si Jupyter, but then you're using Replit. If you have concerns or if you're using other compilers na hindi pareha sa akin, then you came across problems on the compiler, that I cannot answer. Okay? Pasensya tayo dyan. Now, since you will be doing Mansad, Python, di ba, remember what I told you? I will not require muna you having a PC or install Anaconda Python in your PC. But if you would want one, then I'll just send you a link that I know how to do it. It's just simple Mansad to install. Simple lagi siya yun. Now, remember what I told you na if come March, mahuma na gali ang pag-set up sa laboratory, we will be doing na dayon a face-to-face, and then maybe I can ask the lab in charge to allow us to install Python in the PC para bitaw you can really experience it, okay? So for the meantime, stick muna tayo with the concept na si Python will be run through our browsers muna, okay? Sige. That will be module 1. Do you have any questions with regards to Python programming? Hello? May question ba tayo? Kung walang question, give me a thumbs up because I will introduce na dayon the next topics for our session. Okay. Hanggang dito lang yung discussion natin but then I will just give na lang a overview on what will be discussed next week. So by next week, it will be a fast pace on how to do declaration, how to do if else, how to do operators, how to do ano pa ba? Yung mga loops natin, functions, array, yung talagang basic ni programming is ibibigay ko next week. Hopefully, at least man lang dun sa 8 na pinpoint ko, I can provide you with the 4 para at least we can, pagdating ng midterms, we can really start na gidayon with the web development. Okay? So, kung wala ng question, can I request everyone to please turn on your camera for our documentation? Kilo ba? Yan. Sige. Guys, later on daw, will be the Cantago Festival. So we are not required actually to join, but then I'm requiring everyone to please man lang join the festivity.